welcome to the ladies' room. This is your Renaissance lady. I am back with part three of series one of life. And this is building a baby. And this is going to be the last video for this particular series one. And now we're going to go into something different. We're going to take it up a notch, right? So if you made it through these three episodes, thank you very much. Because some might have found this to be boring, some might have not. But thank you if you're still here. Now, I want to say this too before I get going. On part two, on the ovulation video, when I was talking about eggs and all that type of stuff, I want to stand corrected because I said, and I got to watch what I say too. So I'll be learning. Hopefully, I'm not one of the ones to be getting into trouble. But yeah, I want to say this, and I Googled it to even see what I said had any truth to it. I said Janet Jackson had her tubes, not her tubes, had her eggs fertilized. Not fertilized, but she did fertilized. That she had her eggs frozen. And I must stand corrected because that's allegedly, right? So when I Googled it and I read about it, she never said publicly how she went about getting pregnant. She just said she thanked God for her being able to make it happen. And then the tabloids went crazy about she did this, she did that, she did this, she did that. I don't know what she did. So all I did was just repeat what I heard, which is allegedly what they said she did. But honestly, I don't know what she did. And whatever she did it. You hear me? And she's happy. And I think that was that missing piece of her life, um, able to be a mother. Okay, that's very important to a lot of women, and some women don't want to be mothers and stuff. So it is what it is. So I stand corrected on that. So now the next video that we are going to go, hey, sorry, uh, Miss Jackson. So anyway, like I'm just a little person, but I just want to practice that anyway. Um, Trying not to get myself into no trouble. All right. So anyway, the next one is, and plus I like her. I'm a Janet Jackson fan, so I'm cool with her. Anyway, the next one is building a baby, and I'm going to just go ahead into the video, and then I'm going to talk about that after the video has finished. And once again, give me a moment to get this video up and going. And then from there, once it's over, I'll share my thoughts and talk a little bit and keep it moving. So, 1 second.
This is how a human gets made. Every one of us started out this way. We've a pretty good idea what happens over the 9 months it takes to produce a newborn. But there's this one bit that's been missing. Right at the beginning, before this animation even starts. The very first few weeks. Now armed with new ways of growing human embryos in the lab, scientists are learning what the very beginning of human development looks like. For decades, studying this crucial early time in a human embryo's development was a technical headache. Embryos are hard to get and keep alive outside the body. And it's an ethical challenge. Guidelines put together in the late 70s and 80s prevent scientists from growing embryos for longer than 14 days. Despite the hurdles, scientists do know a bit about what happens in those critical weeks, often from animal studies or rare human tissue samples. They know that sperm fertilizes egg, and one cell grows to 2, 4, 8, and so on. Around day 5 or 6, the blob starts to feature different types of cell. Scientists call this blob a blastocyst. All being well, the cells in the blastocyst begin to differentiate. 1 week in, it implants into the wall of the uterus. What happens next has been a bit of a mystery. By implanting itself into the womb's wall, the embryo basically hides, and that makes studying it in humans impossible. One way of exploring this crucial time is to study embryos donated by people who no longer need them for fertility treatment. In the last few years, several labs have developed new ways to nurture these embryos. Their techniques have allowed them to start building a picture of human development that's more detailed than ever before. Here's a day 6 embryo growing in a lab. Cells destined to become the actual fetus are tagged in green. Those that go on to form the placenta in blue. By day 8, the cells are sorting and arranging themselves. The green fetal cells have condensed together, and in red here are cells that will form the interface between the baby and the placenta. It seems these extra embryonic structures develop a little later in humans than expected from studies in other animals. Day 10. The whole thing increases in size, and bundles of cells start developing into support structures. Surprisingly, at this stage, the embryo can direct its own development with no input from the mother's tissues. By day 12, the outskirts of the embryo are preparing to bind more strongly to the wall of the uterus. After all, if this were a natural pregnancy, the embryo would be there for the next 9 months. You can even see little holes appearing, ready for the mother's blood vessels to start supplying the embryo with essential oxygen and nutrients. By now, the embryo is signaling its presence to the mother via a hormone, the one that pregnancy tests pick up, HCG, labelled here in yellow. After 2 weeks, the teams ended their experiments in line with the ethical 14-day limit. To study what happens after 14 days, researchers had to turn to different techniques. Recently, scientists have built artificial embryo-like structures from stem cells. Using these partial models, they can study things like cell signaling, or even the formation of the primitive streak, the crucial thread of cells which guides a process called gastrulation. That's the moment the embryo decides which end will become the head. Here they use human stem cells growing in an animal embryo to explore that process. But even after this early phase is over, there is still a lot of work involved in building a body. To study later phases, scientists have made and analysed high-resolution 3D atlases of human embryos and fetuses. One team found that the left and right hands don't simply mirror each other when growing their nerves. Instead, some branches take random paths in each limb. Another group saw muscles that grew in early embryos only to disappear as the fetus developed, like these. As yet, they're not sure why. It's becoming ever clearer just how important a human embryo's first few weeks are. Many scientists hope that more research will lead to a better grasp of why some pregnancies fail and how birth defects arise, maybe even make in vitro fertilization work better. But some just want to understand exactly what happens to this tiny ball of cells in this short spark of time at the beginning of all of us.
Okay. All right. So that was interesting to me. Um, so they said this was in a laboratory. And they were doing that research there. Um, the embryos were donated, however they got it. That's why I just said this science is it's something else, you know. Um, Here I go. Here I go. Not trying to start no trouble or anything or whatever. So it was in a lab. They studying it, the embryo. When it comes down to what's currently happening right now with this Roe v. Wade type of stuff, and you know, um, embryo is before the baby becomes a fetus. If the baby is an embryo, and the woman doesn't want to go forward with the pregnancy, should she have the right to terminate her pregnancy at that moment? Pro life says that if soon as conception, um, you know, connects and meet, that it is instant life. And I think from what we watched, that it ain't instant life yet because it's still a journey to go through. So, like, if a woman catches it really early on, and it's not even a fetus yet, it's still an embryo. Um, like, should she have the right to do whatever she feels is necessary? One, if she finds out, like the last one, building a baby, and they able to determine that this baby is going to have some kind of defect, some kind of problem. Like, um, I think women should have the right to choose what they want to do, like have a choice. So anyway, it's just so this right here is just so open and broad for a lot of things. I want you all to leave in the comments to make some kind of statement. If you any woman out there that hey, just say, hey, I'm a mother of one, I'm a mother of two, I'm a mother of three. Um, Say I had a good pregnancy, I had a difficult pregnancy. Uh, what else? Like, just talk to me and just tell me what, like, talk to me. Talk to me, okay? And so that's the last of this series of life. And we're going to move on to the next series, too. And like I said, leave some comments, talk to me. And also, if you like the video, hit like. And if you liked it, then hit subscribe so that you can keep up with me and hit the bell notification so that you know when one of my videos have uploaded. And also in the comment, tell me about how you think I did. And even if y'all say something bad, look, I ain't even gonna let it hurt my feelings because I heard you gotta have some tough skin to come out here in these YouTube streets. So look, let me know what you thought. Look, like I said, this I'm just today my first day out the gate. So just let me know too. I want to know too. Um, how you think I did? And if you don't even want to say that from a 1 to 10, and and 10 being the greatest, go ahead and just put some numbers in. Like, I give you, what I give myself? I'm going to give myself a I'm gonna give myself a 4.5, 5, possibly. Anyway, y'all let me know. Talk to me. I talk back. Talk to me, I talk back. Anyway, we're gonna keep it moving. So I got this going. Thank you. And I talk to y'all again. All right, bye.